Yeah.
Rapper of the year for 2018, I think it was. So good choice.
Didn't get it, but he was. Yeah, that was his
He was
campaign.
definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think anyone could agree with that. All right, so I think we're all. Well, I know I am. I'm disappointed and shocked. Weekend has been completely. I don't know what the word is. I'm going to say locked out or blocked out of this year's Grammys. Not a single nomination. He's put it down to the fact that he isn't willing to perform with them on come this week. Or he wasn't willing to perform for them, and he's opted to perform for the what's it called, Super Bowl. So I just think this is crazy. I don't know how After Hours or even singles off of that album haven't been nominated. There's,
you know what thing is, as a fan, right? It's quite funny because his first project, arguably is his best for me. And then he went on like a bit of like a pop tirade where he was, kind of making a little bit more consumer heavy songs. And he won Grammys for those. So like, I think he won Grammys for like The Hills, or I'm not sure what the other one is. Can't Feel My Face, Starboy. Albums I didn't think that were that great. Now he's become more, conscious of his image, made a more concise album, something that sounds a bit more true artistically. Yeah. And he still has the bangers as well as that. So, Blinding Lights, Heartless to some degree. I have no idea what's happened there. It's definitely a blatant admission. Do you know what I'm saying? That someone has definitely said we're not going to nominate him for whatever reason that may be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not nominating Blinding Lights, or you're not nominating some of the other songs, In Your Eyes, I want to say, like, if you're not nominating those, then that means you've just not been listening to what's happened this year. And that's what the Grammys is supposed to be a reflection of. Now, we're aware in certain categories, they do make mistakes, but I just can't believe not a single nomination. How do you feel? Are you a fan of The Weeknd at all?
I'm not a massive fan of The Weeknd, but I do know that I haven't been able to escape Blinding Lights. It's just been everywhere, even without, it's just all over the internet. Like, I heard it on TikTok first, and I didn't actually know it was by him.
Yeah. See, it's one of the, I just don't see, I just feel like if you do that, you're not acknowledging the year that's been had, and that's not what the Grammys should be doing, which is why I think, like, Drake's most recent comments on the Grammys is really interesting, and the fact that these men just ain't respecting what we're doing. I think it's time we make our own ceremony where the art is truly appreciated, because if you're not acknowledging the Weeknd's year, then I don't know what you're doing.
But I guess it's the onus is now on the artist to do that now, though, because as much as people are, upset for the Weeknd, and rightly so, there's still artists that are very, and naturally so, over the moon that they've been nominated for the Grammys. So you got to be either in or out. Like, the artists need to come together and maybe talk to another award ceremony and give artists a bit more leeway on power as to who gets nominated, or maybe bring the fans involved. Do you know what I'm saying? Because this committee business, because I know how it works. You get enrolled every year. So I work for a music company, and they sent me an email saying, would you like to enroll for a Grammy nomination committee, where you pay like an admission each year? So it's people in the industry that are voting, but not everybody in this industry actually listens to music like that.
Yeah.
So the onus needs to be on the artist, in my opinion, to just take that power away.
But
then again,
go.
But then again, I feel like, as you said, not a lot of people listen to music in this industry, so they're pretty much blinded. So when it comes to picking certain categories based on their achievements and the certain criteria, I feel like yes, you're just speaking about people just to give a general consensus and then just say, yep, this is what it is. So for example, the hip hop nominations, I don't know why D Smoke is there. Like, I listened to the album once.
It's the wrong smoke, man.
Yeah.
So Pop Smoke is not nominated. I don't know.
I mean, that's it's not to take anything away from D Smoke, but it's just like, how do you come up with this? And then more importantly, it's just like, how are the nominations like? I know there's criterias, right? But then how are you actually selecting a focus group for this particular group? Do you know what I'm saying? So and there's a lot that needs to be sat down.
And
there's a lot that needs to be discussed and ironed out. But they've been having this problem for several years. So, I mean, I feel like we are partly the ones to blame, but at the same time, we're not the whole reason for the actual blame. Do you understand?
Yeah, I see what
because
you're
I
saying.
even remember what's his name? Not his name. Sorry, her name. What's the lady on Breakfast Club?
Angela Yee.
Angela Yee. She was requested to join the committee, but she declined. And it's like, but this was time ago. It's like, what if you declined and then you're upset this year? Then you should have really just accepted and then been a part of that and been a part of the voting process and allowed a proper decision to be made so that the right deserving artist can receive an accolade because they deserve it, not just because it's a name that's been popped out a hat or, you know, friends in the industry that have just swayed the vote. Do you get what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I feel like we are partly to blame, but not wholly.
So your boys, BTS, they were nominated for a Grammy. And what category was it in?
Best pop duo group performance.
See, that's interesting because you'd obviously be over the moon and happy for them at this moment in time. But I guess you'd still be able to acknowledge the fact that I guess sometimes the Grammy gets it wrong and they haven't nominated people in the right categories or they've messed up.
Yeah. I think even with BTS, that nomination was literally purely for that one English song they did. And it's just completely alienated the Korean songs that they released and they did like campaign to be nominated.
See, that's interesting because that's my biggest problem with the Grammys, that they get it wrong when it's so easy to get it right. And I'm sure the year BTS have had that, they've been everywhere. You know, they had a #1 single on the Hot 100 that they can't be ignored. And then it kind of just feels like you're putting them in a category to just say, here's your nomination, you know, do with it what you want, sort of thing. It's not the right category. It seemed like what Tyler's issue was last year when he was like, well, what does urban contemporary mean? Like, you know,
it means black.
Exactly. But it was like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, you're not doing it right. And then obviously, I think the Weeknd's been completely shut out. That's political. I think that's clear as day. But getting it as wrong as they have with Pop Smoke not being nominated for Rap Album of the Year, I could even make a case that I think Pop Smoke should be in contention for Album of the Year because I think what that album did was amazing. His songs are everywhere. Cultural impact was pretty huge. And obviously RIP, so that gives it even more of a reason to be pushed. Dior got nominated, but I just feel like it was a little throwaway nomination, and that's my least favorite type of nomination. I'd rather you didn't nominate me.
If you substitute the D Smoke album for Pop Smokes, then I won't be angry at the rap album list that they've got. But if Freddie Gibbs doesn't win, I'm going to be absolutely livid. I'm just saying that now. I'm going to be absolutely livid.
No,
that's besides the point.